So the majority on the court relied on a case called what's it called?
Fokker.
Fokker.
F-O-K-K-E-R. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Don't take me there. Okay. Okay.
But you're with the dissenting judge on this one.
I am very much
okay,
so.
What's the difference between this case and Fokker?
First of all, in the Fokker case, although it was a 48A motion, Fokker is a corporation, and it was indicted by the federal grand jury for certain violations of some, to us, innocuous commercial laws. And the government put them in a deferred prosecution program where for 18 months they had certain conditions they had to fulfill. And at the end of those 18 months, they would dismiss this indictment. When the 18 months were up and Fokker had done everything they were supposed to do, the judge denied the motion to dismiss under 48A, but the basic reason he did it was that he was unhappy that the prosecutors had not filed charges against the individual officers of the corporation, only against the corporation. And so he denied this motion. They took it up on a writ of mandamus, actually on a direct appeal, and Fokker was successful in obtaining a judgment in their favor to reverse the decision of the court refusing to dismiss. The real problem here was that there was this confluence of a 48A motion, a requirement under the Deferred Prosecution Act to dismiss if they fulfill all the conditions, and lastly, the Speedy Trial Law. And so because all of this came into confluence, it really isn't the same thing as here. At least in the Fokker case, the judge had ruled. Here, Sullivan never had an opportunity to rule. He has a hearing in July that supposedly he's going to rule. They basically took it out of the trial judge's hands before he had actually ruled and mandated him to do something without the background that Sullivan had in the case, but only the representations that were made by Flynn that he took from the record. They weren't sitting there. This is what happens when you take, for the most part, two people who never sat on a trial court and one who did, and they hear this mandamus, and the two have never sat as a trial judge, give no deference to the trial judge. They give him no opportunity to rule, which is what basically the case law says they're supposed to do, and including case law from the district circuit, that's what they're supposed to do, and they take it out of his hands. Whereas Wilkins says in his dissent, why are we doing this? The majority says that Sullivan's exceeding his jurisdiction. And Wilkins says he's not exceeding his jurisdiction, we are, by granting something which is not ripe. And we're not fulfilling all of the requirements of a mandamus, which has three basic conditions. Number one, the court, to grant it, there has to be no adequate means to obtain relief that the person filing desires. Well, if he lost this motion, Flynn would have a direct appeal, so he does have a remedy. Number two, the right to issuance of the writ is clear and undisputable. Clear it is not clear and undisputable here. Clearly there is a dispute, and it should be resolved by the trial judge. And last, the court in the exercise of its discretion must be satisfied that the writ is appropriate under all the circumstances. None of these three have been satisfied by the majority opinion. And Wilkins goes after them like crazy, saying you're relying on Fokker, which is apples and oranges, and cites all the case law even that I have found that basically say you don't do this, okay? A 48A motion is not a rubber stamp. And if the judge denies it, you have relief if you want to appeal a decision. That's the stuff. There's a lot more in there, but that's substantively what happened here.
Right. And let's see if I have the sense of this right. My sense has always been that, starting from Marbury versus Madison, for crying out loud, right, where the court talked about a writ of mandamus. Mandamus is only appropriate in a situation where whoever you're directing the writ to, in this case the judge, had no discretion, whether to act.
That's correct.
And by definition, if 48A says it requires leave of the court, then the judge has some discretion.
Absolutely.
And mandamus is not an appropriate remedy there.
It is not an appropriate remedy here. There is the basis that if the motion was denied, the parties to the suit have the right to file a direct appeal against that decision and order. Now, Flynn may not have the right to do it until after he has been adjudged and sentenced, but he would have the right to take an appeal from that judgment and sentence, claiming that that motion to dismiss should have been granted, and so therefore the sentence is illegal. Now, he has a remedy. Mandamus is the wrong remedy here. It just is the wrong remedy. Okay, and both sides actually, Rao accepts that those are the reasons. Okay, but what she does do is that she really sticks it to Sullivan in the end by saying, "I'm not going to grant your motion to change judges. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to make Sullivan eat this one."
Right.
That's basically what she did. Okay, if she was going to do this, she should have removed Sullivan. Okay, and granted the motion to remove him and have another district judge handle the matter. But she decided, no, I'm going to give him the writ. I'm going to mandate him to do something he doesn't want to do, and I'm going to make him do it. I'm going to make him sign that order because I'm going to stick it to him because my boss, the President of the United States, is unhappy with Sullivan. Okay? And that's basically what she did. You just don't – this is one of the meanest opinions I've ever seen. She spent half of her opinion trying to grant it based upon law that was inapplicable and misreading of the law, and the other half attacking Judge Wilkins, okay, and his opinion by outlining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points, okay, just attacking him and saying he's wrong, just wrong. Wilkins never says they're wrong. He just says they misread this, they misread that. He does it in the polite way you're supposed to do it. Rao doesn't do that. She's worse than Scalia in that context. Scalia used to attack people too.
Right. That's saying something. All right. So I'm going to end with this. Put you on the spot. What are the odds and who knows, by the time we're done with posting this video, it might have already happened. But what are the odds that the D.C. Circuit has an en banc hearing?
50-50.
50-50? All right.
That's the best I can say is 50-50. Like I said, it won't happen unless Merrick Garland, and I believe that he will spearhead all of this, okay, just because of who he is, not what he is. I believe that if he finds 7 votes, there will be an en banc rehearing. He needs 7 votes.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that was a great discussion, very illuminating. So thanks again. And we will see you the next time there's a development in the Flynn case, or any other interesting case. And keep everybody posted on what's going on.
Thanks a lot. Take care.